राम राम सर्वेभ्यः हृत्पूर्वक नमस्काराः. Welcome to the 60th session of our Shivanandalahari Anandanubhavah. We have completed 94 verses in the previous class. In all likelihood, with the grace of Bhagavad Pada and our Gurus, Mata and Parameshwara, we will be concluding by the next week. So, all the panelists, I hope you are able to share your video and audio. The Zoom webinar settings seem to have changed. Anyway, request all the others to please be on mute and don't share your videos during the class. It would be very distracting. So please, all the others, apart from the panelists, whoever is called, apart from the panelist, others, please be on mute and please do not share your videos during the class. Dhanyavadaha. Prarambham kurmaha guruvandanam uktva. Gurureva gatir gurumeva bhaji. गुरुणैव सहास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरोः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरौ मम पाहि गुरो श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम् सौन्दर्यलहरी कर्त्रे सर्वमङ्गलदायिने शङ्कराचार्यवर्याय यतिराजाय ते नमः शङ्कारूपेण मच्चित्तं पङ्कीकृतमभूद्यया किङ्करीयस्य सा माया शङ्कराचार्यमाश्रये प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे श्रीसच्चिदानन्द शिवाभिनव्य नृसिंह भारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान् सदात्मध्याननिरतम् विषयेभ्यः पराङ्मुखम् नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातम् चन्द्रशेखर भारती विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौदार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे भारती करुणापात्रं भारती पदभूषणं भारती पदमारूढं भारती तीर्थमाश्रये भारती तीर्थवर्यन्तं भक्तहृत्तापनाशनं भवभीतिहरं देवं भावये सततं हृदि विद्या विनय संपन्नौ वीतरागौ विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्त तत्त्वज्ञौ विधुशेखर भारती अनन्तगुणसम्पन्नामनन्ताभिधयाश्रुताम् अनन्तज्ञानदात्रीं तां मातरं प्रणुमो वयम् गैर्वाण्या संविबोधेन जीवनं मौल्यसंयुतम् या करोत्तान्नमाम्यम्बां शारदामूर्तरूपिणी कलाभ्यां चूडालङ्कृत शशिकलाभ्यां निजतपः फलाभ्यां भक्तेषु प्रकटित फलाभ्यां भवतु मे शिवाभ्यामस्तोकत्रिभुवन शिवाभ्याम् हृदि पुनर्भवाभ्यामानन्दस्फुरदनुभवाभ्यान्नतिर्यम् Astu. Last time we learnt 91, 92, 93 and 94. Maybe we will just chant these verses once as a quick revision and then move to 95. आद्या विद्या हृद्गता निर्गतासीत् विद्या हृद्या हृद्गता त्वत्प्रसादात् सेवे नित्यं श्रीकरं त्वत्पदाब्जम् भावे मुक्तेर्भाजनं राजमौले दूरीकृतानि दुरितानि दुरक्षराणि दौर्भाग्य दुःख दुरहङ्कृति दुर्वचांसि सारं त्वदीय चरितं नितरां पिबन्तम् गौरीश मामिह समुद्धर सत्कटाक्षैः सोमकलाधरमौलौ कोमलघनकन्धरे महामहसि स्वामिनि गिरिजानाथे मामकहृदयं निरन्तरं रमता सारसनात्ते नयने तावेव करौ स एव कृतकृत्यः यायेयौ यो भर्गम् वदति क्षेते सदार्चत स्मरति. A very beautiful verse. Last time we saw even grammatically and the usage of words, how beautiful this verse is. So please go through the meaning from the video recording. It's there on our portal Sanskrit from Home and on YouTube in case you have missed the last session. This is a wonderful verse. Like I said, very dear one to my Guru, Anantam Mata. So please, those who have missed the previous class, you can listen to the meaning in the recording. Sarasana te nayane taveva karau sa eva kritakrityah ya ye yau yo bhargam vadati kshete sadarchata smarati. It is beautiful on many levels, spiritually, the meaning wise, and it's a declaration, like I said, by Bhagavad Pada towards the concluding portion of Shivanandalahari, and very significant grammatically, and the usage of the repeating letters, the repeating sound, which is very pleasing, like a Shabdalankara. Now we will move to 95. Shriya. Atimridulau mama charanau.
अतिमृदुलौ मम चरणौ अतिमृदुलौ मम चरणौ
अतिकठिनन्ते मनो भवानीश
अतिकठिनन्ते मनो भवानीश अतिकठिनन्ते मनो भवानीश
इति विचिकित्सां सन्त्यज
इति विचिकित्सां सन्त्यज इति विचिकित्सां सन्त्यज
शिव कथमासीद्गिरौ
शिव कथमासीद्गिरौ शिव कथमासीद्गिरौ
तथा वेशः
तथा वेशः तथा वेशः
तमम् अति मृदुलौ मम चरणौ अति कठिनम T is Mahaprana Anuspara followed by the ati kathinante, so that becomes an anus with a sandhi there. Ati kathinante mano bhavanisha Bha is Mahaprana here. Bhavanisha. So it is a hrasva. We should not prolong it. Iti. Vichikitsam santyaja. Again, ja is a hrasva. Shiva. Kathamasid girau. Tha is Mahaprana. Tatha. Please note here, the first tha is Alpaprana, second tha is Mahaprana. And we must chant only in that way. We should not interchange. And tatha, while saying that, we should not bring in an extra t there. We shouldn't chant it as tatha. There is extra samyuktakshara is not there. Tatha, veshaha. Note the pronunciation of this sh. It is not here also. Bhavani sh. It is not sa. Sh. And here vichikitsam sa. Kathamasid. The difference between sa, sh, we have dealt with it multiple classes and in the pronunciation class. So that's also available. You can go through the recording. Astu. Now we will do half a verse at a time. Ati mridulau mama charanau ati kathinante mano bhavanisha.
Ati mrudulau mama charanau Ati kathinante mano bhavanisha Ati mrudulau mama charanau Ati kathinante mano bhavanisha
Iti vichikitsam santyaj Shiva kathamasid girau tatha veshaha.
Iti vichikitsam santyaja Shiva kathamasid girau tatha veshaha Iti vichikitsam santyaja Shiva kathamasid girau tatha veshaha.
Tamam. Now we will chant the entire verse. Ati mridulau mama charanau Ati kathinante mano bhavanisha Iti vichikitsam santyaja Shiva kathamasid girau tatha veshaha.
Ati mrudulau mama charanau Ati kathinante mano bhavanisha Iti vichikitsam santyaja Shiva kathamasid girau tatha veshaha.
Uttamam. Another thing to note here, Ati mridulau. So Ati mridulau here, this mr should be chanted as mridulau. We should not chant it as mru. It is not mru. It is mr. Okay, like amritam, exactly like that. It is not amrutam. That is not the right pronunciation. Amritam. There is no dvitvam also there. Please note. It's not amrutam. Similarly, here it is not atimridulau. There is sometimes a tendency to chant that way. We must be careful. Atimridulau. Astu idanim. We will do the prose order and vaya. Bhavanisha. O Isha, consort or Lord of Bhavani, Parvati. Mama charanau atimridulau. Te manaha ati kathinam iti vichikitsam santyaja Shiva girau praveshaha girau veshaha kathamasit tatha. So this means kathamasit girau tatha veshaha. This is a conversation of the bhakta with Parameshwara. Hey Bhavanisha. And like we see in every verse, there is a very apt way of choosing how to address Parameshwara based on the meaning and the bhava, the emotion and the bhakti conveyed in that particular verse. So similarly in this verse also, we will see why. Bhavanisha, O consort of Parvati, Mama charanau ati mridulau. Te manaha ati kathinam iti vichikitsam santyaja. Hey Parvatisha, Mama charanau, my feet are very soft. Ati mridulav. They are very delicate. Mridu means delicate or soft, tender. My feet are very delicate. Te manaha ati kathinam. Your mind is extremely hard. Ati kathinam. See, ati mridulav, ati kathinam. This is what Parameshwara is thinking. So Bhagavad Pada is saying to Parameshwara, don't think this way. Iti vichikitsam santyaja. Such a doubt, which don't entertain such a doubt, Parameshwara. Santyaja, you abandon it, you leave it, you remove it. You please remove any such doubt you may have in your mind. What is that doubt? That my feet, that Parameshwara is thinking, oh, my feet are so delicate. But this bhakta, his mind is so hard. How will my feet tread his mind? Like how will my feet go into his mind, which is so hard? Evam ma chintaya Parameshwara iti vichikitsam santyaja. You give up that kind of any doubt you might have. Why? That's the last line is the answer to that. Shiva, oh auspicious one, girau veshaha kathamasit tatha, or Shiva kathamasit girau tatha veshaha. Hey Shiva, girau means in the hills or in the mountains. Giri actually means a hill, but in the mountains of Kailasa, that is the reference here. In Kailasa, te Kailasa, kathamasit girau tatha veshaha. Katham, how? How did you move around? How did you enter? Actually, Vesha Pravesha refers to enter. How did you enter Kailasa Parvata and move around there? How kathinam is that Kailasa Parvata? How hard it is. First of all, it is a mountain, and in those temperatures, there extremely cold and on ice, right? It's on that snow-capped mountain. How can we even imagine walking barefoot there in that on in the Himalayas and in Mount Kailasa for that matter? How hard it is. But Parameshwara, with his two tender feet, he moves around, he enters and he moves around easily in the mountains, in the Himalayas and Mount Kailasa. Therefore, don't think that my feet are too tender, this bhakta's mind is too kathinam, too hard. The way you walked around, right? You entered and walked in the Kailasa Parvata in the Himalayas. So it's the same. How is it possible for your tender feet? Therefore, don't entertain the least amount of doubt, even an iota of doubt. Don't entertain whether you will be able to enter this hard mind of mine with your tender feet, because you've already done it in the Himalayas. So don't have any such fear or doubts. So, in a way, very beautiful way of requesting Parameshwara to enter one's heart, one's mind with his feet, and rather to have to fill the mind and the heart with the lotus feet of Parameshwara. We have seen a similar verse before, where similarly Shankaracharya asks Parameshwara whether actually, it was a practice he did by walking around in the Himalayas, because he knew that this person will be born and his mind will be very hard, ati kathinam. Therefore, before itself, Parameshwara had practiced by trekking in the Himalayas, by walking around there in the Kathina Parvata, so that he could enter this mind, this heart of the bhakta, which is very kathinam. So similar emotion, bhava, bhakti in this verse also. So very beautifully put by Bhagavad Pada. Let us read the meaning once. And yes, most importantly, before we do the entire meaning, very a very heartening way, I must say, and a very apt way of addressing Parameshwara as Bhavanisha. Why? Who is she? Bhavani. She is Himavat Putri. She is Parvati. She is the daughter of Parvata Maharaja. She is the daughter of Himalayas. She is Parvati. And Parameshwara, he moves around in the Himalayas, which is also the abode of Parvati, and of course Himavan, her father, Himalayas, right? Himalaya mountain. So Parameshwara, this is also to very to bolster his argument, so to say, that see, you are also the consort of Parvati, and she is Himavat Putri, and you are very accustomed to going there. You are very accustomed to being in the Himalayas, and you stay there also in Kailasa Parvata. You enter, you walk around, and you are so used to the Himalayas. Your consort is also Parvati Devi only. Giriraja Sutta, right? That is another synonym for Parvati Devi. Giriraja Sutta. So she is the daughter of Giri Parvata. So you're already accustomed. So please don't entertain any doubt that you can't enter my mind, which is so kathinam, ati kathinam. So therefore, very aptly, he has used the word, the addressing mode of addressing, Bhavanisha. Okay, now let's read the meaning. O Shiva, that is the embodiment of auspiciousness, the consort of Parvati, please don't think thus. My feet are very soft, but your mind is very hard. How would it be possible for me to enter? How would it be possible for you to enter and move on the Kailasa mountains where everything seems so tough and rigid? Right? Okay. Now we will read chant the verse. अतिमृदुलौ मम चरणौ अतिकठिनं ते मनो भवानीश इति विचिकित्सां सन्त्यज शिव कथमासीद्गिरौ तथा वेशः. Okay. Now we will move to the next one. Charu. धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम्
धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम् धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम्
रभसादाकृष्य
रभसादाकृष्य रभसादाकृष्य
भक्तिशृङ्खलया
भक्तिशृङ्खलया भक्तिशृङ्खलया
पुरहर चरणालाने
पुरहर चरणालाने पुरहर चरणालाने
हृदयमदेभं बधान
हृदयमदेभं बधान हृदयमदेभं बधान
चिद्यन्त्रैः
चिद्यन्त्रैः चिद्यन्त्रैः.
उत्तमम्. 96th verse. धैर्याङ्कुशेन, ध is Mahaprana, धैर्याङ्कुशेन nibhritam. Note the pronunciation. It is not nibhritam, nibhritam, and it's not nibhrutam also. Nibhritam, bhr is Mahaprana. Rabhasadaakrishya, dha is Mahaprana. Akrishya, sh is again that shanmukha, sh. It should be pronounced accurately. Bhakti Shrinkhalaya, Dha is Mahaprana. Shrinkhalaya, Kha is Mahaprana. And Shri, note the pronunciation of that. Bhakti Shrinkhalaya, Purahara, Charanalane, Hridaya Madebham, Hridaya Madaibham, Hridaya Madebham, Bha is Mahaprana. Badhana, Dha is Mahaprana. Chidyantraihi, Chidyantraihi. Note the accurate pronunciation of that word. धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम्
धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम् धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम्
रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया
रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया.
पुरहर चरणालाने
पुरहर चरणालाने पुरहर चरणालाने
हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः
हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः
उत्तम धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतं प्रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया
धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतं रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतं रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया
पुरहर चरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बभान चिद्यन्त्रैः
पुरहर चरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः पुरहर चरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः
उत्तमम् धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतं प्रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया पुरहर चरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः
धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतं रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया पुरहर चरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः
उत्तमम् अत्र रभसादाकृष्य there also we must be careful by pronouncing this akrishya. We should not pronounce an extra k there. It should not be heard as rabhasadakrishya. It is not akrishya. There is no dvitvam doubling there. It is akrishya. This is not a samyuktakshara. This is a gunitaksharam. Rabhasadakrishya. There is a tendency to say akrishya. That is not right. So please be careful while chanting this. Okay. Now we will see the anvaya of this verse. Purahara, oh destroyer of Tripura. We have referred to that Pauranika reference where Parameshwara destroyed the Tripuras, the Asuras. So very aptly used Purahara. Hridaya mada ibham धैर्यांकुशेन प्रभसात् आकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया चरणालाने चित्यन्त्रैः निभृतं बधान. So in the previous verse, we saw how Bhagavad Pada, the Bhakta, tells Parameshwara to not think that that my mind, the Bhakta's mind is so kathina and his feet are so tender, so he will not be able to tread the mind or enter the mind because he's already used to trekking or moving around, entering the Himalayas. Hey Bhavanisha. So here there is a prayer to Parameshwara saying that you please bind my mind with your in your devotion and to the post of your feet. So that is the prayer. And again, Purahara, meaning he's Parameshwara is someone who has subdued, who has vanquished the extremely powerful Asuras. Purahara. So that is like a reminding again Parameshwara in the previous verse, Bhavanisha. The way he addresses, he reminds him that you are the consort of Parvati, Himavat Putri. You have entered the mountain, so enter my mind also, which is so hard. Here, Purahara again saying, you are so powerful, you are Purahara, you have vanquished such demons and nothing is impossible for you. Therefore, you are able to do anything. And why he is addressing him as Purahara, we'll see the meaning. here, Hridaya Mada Ibham. So the Hridayam is the heart, or you can take it as the mind also. Mind, heart, anything you can take. My Antahkarana, my Hridayam, or my heart or my mind. How is it? It is Mada Ibham. It is an infatuated elephant or an intoxicated elephant. So this, even biology, you might have studied or you will know, and even in our Sanskritam, in the references, in many of our literary references, you have this reference to this Mada Gaja. Okay, so when an infatuated elephant, it is very difficult to control, and it has a lot of, it's very restless, it's very strong, and it is very difficult to subdue an elephant which is in that state. So many times we see this analogy, this upama being used, this or as a rupakalankara, whichever. So here it is rupakalankara. Hridaya Mada Ibham. So this heart or the mind, which itself is the Mada Gaja, an intoxicated or an infatuated elephant. And therefore, it is very difficult. Now, why is the mind compared to that? Because the mind runs around everywhere, right? It is very difficult to control the mind, and very difficult to control the mind, the emotions, and the multiple endless desires, the pursuits, the material pursuits, and the the sense objects which the senses are attracted to. So all this, how is it subdued? How does one attain chitta shuddhi and control that mind? Only with the grace of Parameshwara. Therefore, this is a prayer to Parameshwara to control the mind. The Hridaya Mada Ibham, very aptly saying, Purahara, you are so powerful, you've subdued the Tripuras, the Asuras, the demons. So my mind is a Mada Gaja. Ibha means elephant in Sanskritam. So Hridaya Mada Ibham. So this mind of mine, which is an intoxicated, an elephant. Chidyantraihi badhana. Badhana means please bind it. And he has said in various ways you have to bind it. How? Dhairyankushena nibhritam, which means Dhairyankushena rabhasat akrishya. Dhairya ankusha. Ankusha means that goad. You have seen that goad which is used to control the elephants, right? This verse refers to the various ways which are used to control an elephant. Okay, so those who are aware of that, they will be able to appreciate this verse also. With a word called dhairya. Dhairya is bravery. Dhairya ankushena, with the ankusha called dhairya, with the goad called dhairya or bravery. Rabhasat akrishya. Rabhasat, quickly it has to be bound. So when you're, just imagine controlling an elephant which is gone, which is running helter-skelter. And they also say, when this elephant, it gets into that mood and wants to attack, it's very difficult. Like, we have also heard instances how, sometimes in safaris, etc., when an elephant is approaching very fast in that state, it's a very dangerous thing for people or others to be around. So here, how do you control such an elephant? Dhairyankushena, with the goad called dhairya, bravery. Rabhasat akrishya, very quickly. Rabhasat, if you give it time, in no time such an elephant can crush a person and whoever is trying to control. And such a huge elephant will not be able to do anything. So Rabhasat akrishya, extremely quickly. That you have to, that a person who is controlling such an elephant has to move very quickly with tact, very efficiently. So bind that elephant very quickly. Rabhasat akrishya, with the dhairyankusha, with the goad called bravery. And once that elephant is bound, then what should we do? We have to, but as in once it is controlled with that ankusha, with the goad, then it has to be bound by a chain. Otherwise, it will again cause a lot of havoc. So, what is that chain? Bhakti Shrinkhalaya, with the chain called Bhakti. The chain is nothing but the devotion. So, first, this mad elephant called the mind has to be controlled with the Dhairyankusha. That is a god of Dhairya, bravery. Then it has to be bound with a chain called devotion. Bhakti Shrinkhalaya. Charanalane. Where should it be bound? Now, sorry. So the chain, it has to be tied to something, right? Again, this elephant is, otherwise it's going to be in that state. It can cause harm again. So where is it bound? With the chain called devotion. It is bound to the charanalane, to the post of your feet. You all might have seen sometimes when elephants have to be bound for whatever reason, they have to be kept there in a particular place. Then they use that chain to bind the foot of the elephant to some post, and that post has to be very strong, right? If it is an elephant, otherwise in no time that chain will break and that elephant can also run away. So to bind that elephant, the foot of that elephant here, to what is that post? That post also should be very strong to be able to control the weight and that force of that elephant. So what is that post here? The post is nothing but Charana, the feet of Parameshwara. So please bind the feet of this mad elephant, which is my mind. Please bind that with the chain of devotion to your feet, which are themselves the posts. So that jewel feet, that padadvandvam of Parameshwara, please bind this mind with the bhakti shrinkhala, the chain of devotion, to charanalane, to the post of Parameshwara's feet. Charanalane. And further, chidyantraihi. And what is the support which is given to that? So the elephant is bound now with Dhairyankusha, it has been controlled with the god of bravery. Then with the Bhakti Rajju, we come across that word, right? In another verse in Shivanandalahari. That is the rope of Bhakti. Here, Bhakti Shrinkhala, the chain of Bhakti. So with that, the feet of the elephant are bound to the Charana. Here, the elephant is nothing but the mad mind that is bound to the Charana of Parameshwara, the feet of Parameshwara. And Chidyantraihi Badhana. Further, what do you do? With the support of Chit Yantra, with the instrument of Chidyantra. Now here, Chidyantraihi, it refers to Chit, means Shiva or the Brahmajnanam. With the Shiva Jnanam or Brahmajnanam, you please bind it or tie it tightly so that it doesn't again become mad and run away and, run helter-skelter. So how difficult it is to control that's an elephant in that state, a mad elephant or an infatuated elephant. It is that, that is the analogy given to show how difficult it is to control this human mind, which Bhagavad Pada has referred to as a monkey, as a thief. In various ways, he has referred to the mind. So, but Bhagavan being Purahara, he is so powerful. Dhairyankushena Rabhasat Hridaya Madebham Akrishya, having controlled or binding quickly with the Dhairyankusha. Bhakti Shrinkhalaya Charanalane Chidyantrai. Bhakti Shrinkhalaya Charanalane Chidyantraihi Nibhritam Badhana. Bhakti Shrinkhalaya, with the chain of devotion tied to the post of the feet of Parameshwara and firmly supported or firmly bound, firmly supported by the Chidyantra or the Brahmajnanam or Shiva Jnanam. Please bind it, which means only with the grace of Parameshwara, when that bhakti is used as the mode to control the mind, And the feet are firmly placed in the charana. Sorry, the mind is firmly placed in the charana of Parameshwara and bound with this Shiva Jnanam or Brahma Jnanam. Only then a mind will be able to be controlled. So much of tattva is given in this verse. Again, there is a lot of uh, deep meaning. We are just seeing as much as we can in this class. You can always go ahead, read, study, and contemplate on these verses. So you will, like I said, as you do more adhyanam, more parayanam, the meaning will reveal itself, the inner meaning, with the grace of Parameshwara and Bhagavad Padacharya. And this also, because very aptly it is named as Shivanandalahari, this Chidyantra, what is referring to is that Shiva Jnanam, Brahma Jnanam as the instrument. And that once you attain that, that is nothing but this Shivanandalahari itself. That Brahma Jnanam itself is this Shivanandam, Shivanandalahari. So this is the meaning of this verse. Now, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, I think 6th chapter, he also very aptly, he says, Asamshayam mahabaho mano durnigraham chalam abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grihyate. So when Arjuna asks chanchalam hi manaha Krishna pramathi balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkaram. Hey Krishna, the mind is very chanchala. Pramathi balavadridham. It is extremely tough to be controlled. And how is it? See, when there is a huge gust of wind, and we have seen this when there is, natural calamities, etc., cyclones, when there is a huge gusts of wind, it is very difficult to control. Anything in its path with that force of nature, anything can be taken away, right? Whether it's huge buildings or anything. So, Vayoriva Sudushkaram, that kind of winds when we have in nature, how it is difficult to control. The mind is difficult to control like that. That is the analogy Arjuna gives. And Krishna agrees and says, Asamshayam, there is no doubt that the mind is difficult to control. However, Abhyasena, Vairagyena, Grihyate, with Abhyasa, that is Abhyasa is consistent effort every day, doing effort in so many ways. Bhagavad Pada also told us here, like bhakti, dhyana, archana, listening to the leelas of Parameshwara, all these, and what even if it is pranayama, he's referred to those also. So by various ways, consistent abhyasa with the grace of Parameshwara and the Guru, and vairagya, that is doing it without the sense of doership, giving up that ahankara or ego while doing it. Grihyate, with that the mind can be controlled. So how that abhyasa and that vairagya and all here beautifully in a different way, Shankaracharya has put it in this verse. Bhagavad Pada has put it in this verse, how bhakti should be the chain and it should be placed firmly in the feet of Parameshwara. And then this is a prayer showing that only with the grace of Parameshwara, this control is possible, control of the mind. Now we'll read the entire meaning. O Bhagavan, the destroyer of Tripurasura, with the goad of bravery, that is Dhairyankushena, control my restless mind, which is like an infatuated elephant, and bind it swiftly with the strong chain of devotion. Please tie it firmly to the post of your feet with the support of the knowledge of Brahman. So once you attain that Brahmajnanam, then of course the mind, then you've realized that Aham Brahmasmi, you are in that state of Shivanandam. Then then you don't have something called this mind which is going here and there, helter-skelter like a mad elephant. धैर्याङ्कुशेन निभृतम् प्रभसादाकृष्य भक्तिशृङ्खलया पुरहरचरणालाने हृदयमदेभं बधान चिद्यन्त्रैः. अस्तु, इदानीं नेक्स्ट् वन्, अदिति. प्रचरत्यभितः pragalbhavritya.
प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्या प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्या
मदवानेश मनः करीगरीयान्
मदवानेश मनः करीगरीयान् मदवानेश मनः गरीयान्
परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्वा
परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्वा परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्वा
परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्तयामु
परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्नयामुम् परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्नयामुम्
तमम् प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्या. So pracharathyabhitah, bhi is mahaprana. Pracharathyabhitah, here visarga followed by pa, it becomes upadmaniya, like we have all learned. So pracharathyabhitah pragalbhavritya, bha again mahaprana here. Madavanesha, esha, note the pronunciation. Manah kari, manaha kari, combining here jihva muliya, manah kari, gariyan. परिगृह्य नयेन भक्ति रज्वा. भा is mahaprana, rajva is दीर्घ. परमस्थाणु पदम, note the द्वित्वम. परमस्थाणु, tha is mahaprana, padam. Padam dridham, note the pronunciation, dridham. Only the second dha is mahaprana. We shouldn't be saying the first letter also as mahaprana. Sthanu padam dridham. When you combine sthanu padam dridham, dridham nayamum, combining dridham nayamum. When we combine the sandhi, we'll do one pada at a time. Sorry, we already did one pada, so we'll do half of us. Pracharatyabhita pragalbhavritya madavanesha manah करीगरीयान्.
प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्या मदवानेश मनः करीगरीयान् प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्या मदवानेश मनः करीगरीयान्
यनये भक्तिरज्वा परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्तयामु.
परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्वा परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्नयामुम् परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्वा परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्नयामुम्.
Now the entire verse. Pracharathyabhitah pragalbhavritya madavanesha manah karigariyaan parigrihya nayena bhaktirajva paramasthānupadam dridhantayamu.
प्रचरत्यभितः प्रगल्भवृत्या मदवानेश मनः करीगरीयान् परिगृह्य नयेन भक्तिरज्वा परमस्थाणुपदं दृढन्नयामुम्.
So similarly, like how the mind was referred to in the previous verse as Hridaya Madebham, Hridaya Mada Ibha, right? The infatuated elephant. Similarly, here again the reference is Esha manaha madavan. Esha manaha kari. Manah kari means the kari refers to elephant. In the previous verse, the synonym for elephant was ibha. Here, kari refers to elephant. Parama, that is, O ultimate one, O Bhagavan. Madavan gariyan eshaha manah kari. Pragalbha vritya abhitaha pracharati. Abhitaha pracharati. Amum bhaktirajva nayena parigrihya sthanupadan dridham naya. Similarly, the same kind of thoughts as we had in 96, the similar verse here. Parama, O ultimate aprameya, Bhagavan, the limitless one, the ultimate one. Madavan gariyan eshaha manah kari. Madavan means it is full of mada, it is full of infatuation. This manaha. And gariyan, also it is very huge. Gariyan also means very difficult to control and very huge. Like that, what is in that way and also infatuated? Manah kari, my mind, which is a mad elephant. Manah kari, this mind which is an elephant, which it is madavan, it is full of mada. And gariyan, it is huge. Further what? Pragalbha vritya abhitaha pracharati. Pragalbha means with intolerable behavior and with a lot of pride, ego, with all these internal enemies, we are infatuated. Right? So, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, with all these internal enemies, we are infatuated, intoxicated. And when you lose that power of reasoning, that is nothing but intoxication itself. Like Krishna says in the second chapter, right? Buddhi nashat pranashyati. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshu upajayate. Sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhramshat buddhi nashat pranashyati. That chain of events, chain of causation, that one leads to the other. And when we don't get what we want. And this one can observe in this world. This is not only in literature, with our own selves or with the world around. When someone really is very hell-bent on achieving something, getting something, then the power of reasoning goes, that such a person is ready to do anything to get that. And all the, the sattva qualities are destroyed, and only these internal enemies we will see that they are raging. And that is the reason for crime also, right, in society, when you don't have that kind of control. And pragalbha vritya, this is intolerable behavior. And they also say anger is temporary madness. Even when a person is angry, one loses that power of judgment, power of reasoning. So this is a great, Shivanandalahari is a great lesson in psychology also, if you go in deeper into each verse. And this is a great way on how to control the mind with bhakti, with these sadhanas. And it is a great way to achieve peace of mind and mental health also. So this intoxicated elephant, eshaha manakari madavan gariyan pragalbha vritya pracharati. It is just running around everywhere with intolerable behavior. It wanders everywhere with intolerable behavior. Also, our wants are like that, desires. You get one thing, you want something better. Oh, someone else has it, I want that also. The mind is that way. With intolerable behavior, it wanders everywhere. However, hey Parama, oh ultimate Parameshwara, abhitaha pracharati, this mind goes everywhere. Amum, this mind, bhakti rajva, with the rope called bhakti. In the previous verse, bhakti shrinkhalaya, with the chain called bhakti. Here, bhakti rajva, all these are rupakalankaras. Bhakti rajva, with the rope of bhakti, nayena, how very tactfully this mind has to be dealt with. Bhakti rajva nayena parigrihya, having controlled, having caught hold of it. So catch hold of this mind of mine, or you control this mind of mine with the rope of bhakti tactfully. Nayena sthanu padam dridham naya. Please take this mind, having fastened it with the rope of bhakti. Please take this intolerable, infatuated mind which is running around everywhere like a mad elephant. Having controlled that with the rope of bhakti, please take it where? To the sthanu pada. Dridham sthanu padam. That is dridham. The sthanu padam is dridham. It is very firm. The sthanu, again, very beautiful usage of word here. Sthanu padam means it refers to that ultimate Brahma padam. Okay, so that is the ultimate state where one attains that Shivanandam. And how is that? It is dridham, it is very firm. Once the mind is in that state, or once a jiva attains that state, that is very firm. It is dridha. And sthanu padam refers to that Brahma padam, to that steady state of liberation. Once that happens, then there is no, this being entangled in this multiple births and, hankering for these material pursuits, etc. So in that Brahma padam, sthanu padam, dridham naya, lead it firmly to that sthanu padam. Sthanu padam, Brahma padam. Sthanu also refers to something which is very strong and doesn't move. So something which is extremely steady and strong is also called sthanu. And sthanu is also a synonym for Parameshwara. So in all the ways you can understand this word, sthanu padam, Brahma padam, that ultimate state of Brahma Jnanam, liberation. Shiva padam, that is the state of that Shivanandam, that state of being Shiva, that realization, which is very firm. And that is a very steady state, a firm state. So Parameshwara, please, hey Parama, the ultimate one, lead my mind firmly to that sthanu padam, controlling this infatuated mind with the rope of bhakti, very tactfully controlling it. You please lead it towards that that Shiva padam, sthanu padam, Brahma padam. That is a very, Naya means lead it. Very beautifully explained. Just this Subhashitam came to my mind while reading these 96, 97. I will just share it with you. In that Subhashitam also, a beautiful, Subhashitam is a wise saying in Sanskrit. The Subhashitakara says, Yada kinchi jnyoham dvipa iva madandhaha samabhavam tada sarvajñosmiti ityabhavadavaliptam mama manaha yada budhajana sakashat kinchit kinchit avagatam तथा मूर्खोऽस्मीति ज्वर इव मदो मे व्यपगतः. So when was an alpajnani, kinchignyah, when I knew very little, tada dvipa, here dvipa means elephant. So we learned 3 words. Kari here in 97, 96, it was ibha. And here dvipa in this Subhashita, dvipa iva madandhaha samabhavam. When I knew very little, I was mada and madena andhaha. Mada again here, the infatuation. Andhaha means I was blind. So all of us are in that state of madandha. We are blind with our limited knowledge, and we are blind with intoxication, infatuation, that we do not see the reality. We think what we know is ultimate and we know everything. So when I knew little, my mind was like that infatuated elephant. Dvipa iva, like an elephant. Madandhaha, blinded by mada. Samabhavam. Then sarvajñosmiti. Then I used to think I know everything. Sarvajñaha asmi. We see many in today's world also thinking they are ultimate, they know everything. So tada sarvajñaha asmiti. Then my mind was completely infatuated with this ajnana, that I know everything. Like an elephant blinded by a madandhaha. Then Budhajana Sakashat, when I approached the great seers, the great sages, Budhaha, the wise people, kinchit, when I started learning little by little by approaching the great seers and sages, then Murkhosmiti jvara iva mado me vyapagataha. Then I knew how foolish I was. And I didn't know that I don't know anything. then how did that mada go, that infatuation go? Like how when when you get fever, jwara, and when it goes away with medication or in whichever way the fever goes away, then how you feel. That is how I felt. That by when I went to great persons and learnt from them, then jwara iva mado me vyapagataha. Then that infatuation, that mada left me like a fever leaving a person. Like when you recover from fever, how do you feel? That's the way that mada left me when I approached great seers and started learning little by little from them. So this state of infatuation, intoxication, that is because of our ajnana. A very beautiful subhashitam where the subhashitakara again refers to the mind as this madandha, dvipa iva, like a infatuated elephant. So now let us read the meaning of this verse, then we will chant the verse. O Bhagavan, Parama, the ultimate cause of existence, my mind, which is like a huge intoxicated elephant wandering everywhere with uncontrollable behavior, must be caught and controlled. Please lead it firmly with the rope of bhakti, devotion, guiding it to the steady state of liberation. Sthanu Padam, beautiful word. You can read the various meanings of the word Sthanu, the supreme state of Brahman. Pracharathyabhitah pragalbhavritya madavanesha manah karigariyan parigrihya nayena bhaktirajva paramasthānupadam dridhandayamum. Okay, beautiful. We are concluding today's class with this Thanupadam. Now we have just 3 more verses to go. Okay. So please, all of you attend the next class. We will be concluding Shivanandalahari. During the course of this week, I will let you know about our valedictory assessments, etc. If you have any requests or any suggestions, please do send it to me. If there are any children who have learned perfectly, children as in, say, below the age of 16 or 15 years, even very young children, age is no bar. Nahi vayaha tejaso hetuhu. Even very young children will be able to memorize and learn perfectly. Please send me a message or an email with your name and your age, and we will be in touch. So I would like to make a few children chant. We will see when, etc. But please send me these details. Parents, if your children have learned, please do that. As we will conclude with Shanti Mantraha. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadaha sarvebhyah. It has been a great yajna so far, and we never planned, like we haven't planned many things. On the Ardrotsava day also we had Shivanandalahari class, I think 2 weeks ago, and which is a very auspicious day for Parameshwara. And similarly, we are going to conclude by Mahashivaratri this year. Again, not planned by us. When we started on Vijayadashmi, I think in 2024, we thought it would just be 30, 40 classes. But of course, the meaning, etc., we had to extend it. So we are going to conclude by Mahashivaratri. So let us all do this as a samarpanam to Parameshwara. Thank you so much to all of you. Our panelists, 3 of them, have been consistent right from the beginning till the concluding class. So all panelists, thank you so much, Shriya, Charu and Aditi. Next class, please come. I want all of you to be there for the concluding teaching class. After that, we'll have revisions, etc. But teaching, yes, we will conclude with 3 more verses. Dhanyavadaha, Ram Ram Ram, Punarmilamaha.